Greetings, my lovely Aries. Greetings and welcome, Aries. I'm back to do a love reading for you. For all of you lovely Aries joining me for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for you returning Aries, I do appreciate your support and your presence here. So, Aries, let's get into our love messages. These are general messages, so if you find that this story does not resonate with you, don't panic. Just know that you'll need to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that when the next message drops that does resonate for you, you're the first to know about it. All right, Spirit, let's get some messages on the board for my beautiful Aries people regarding love and romance. And see what we've got going on, Aries. All right, first message. All right, so our oracle cards are as follows for your first messages is the Birch card, Darkness, and Spirit of the South. So first off, Aries, with this Birch card, this is talking about the boundaries that you put around yourself. So there is a need here to examine those boundaries that you are putting up in love, whether you're putting up boundaries to your heart that no one can penetrate, or about putting up proper boundaries in which you do not become a doormat. Whichever the case is for you, Aries, this is talking about an examination of those boundaries and reassessing what is working and what's not working. It's also talking about protecting yourself and healing as you go along. So making sure that from situation to situation or relationship to relationship that you are taking out the proper time to heal so that you show up in your full glory, in your full fullness. With this Darkness card, it is talking about, wow, people just really want to make the most noise as soon as I hit record here. Sorry, I live in a city, so I cannot totally block out all background noises. Hopefully it's not too distracting for you, Aries. But moving on, this Darkness card talks about a sense of chaos or confusion. And so we're looking at chaos or confusion in your current situations and how you got into this state and how chaos or confusion was able to enter into your current connection, right? And that may have been through the fact that you don't have the proper boundaries in place, right? And so now that, you know, when someone who seeks to take advantage of you, especially romantically, sees a lack of boundaries, then they, they automatically go into game playing mode of causing chaos and confusion in the mind and keeping you guessing in regards to their intentions or when you're going to see them or where you stand in the connection, because this keeps you stuck in time. It keeps you running like that hamster on the hamster wheel, putting in all this effort and getting nowhere as a result. Okay. So that these two together are specifically telling me that many of you are caught in a situation because you have maybe not vetted someone in the beginning well enough to know what their true intentions are, and you weren't putting up your proper boundaries, and you were moving forward, and some of you maybe even pursuing a person who probably didn't even deserve your time to begin with. That's a message, and it's very specific coming for a lot of you, okay? This spirit of the South also talks to this sense of chaos and confusion that the darkness card opened the door for by, the spirit of the South is basically the fire element, right? And so if you allow fire to burn uncontrolled, it does result in chaos and confusion and getting burnt, quite frankly. So this is like looking at the fact that this is what's present and going on in your connection at the moment. And instead of fretting over this, it's you trying to get, I feel many of you have tried to get in control of the chaos and confusion, and you're trying to tamp it down, and you're trying to hide it, and you're trying to bury it, and you're trying to do all these things instead of just take a soulful examination of what's going on here. Each relationship, situationship that we get ourselves into really reveals a lot about us, and it reveals a lot about where we are unhealed, especially in cases where you have the chaos and confusion. So this is being reflected very strongly to many of you in your current connections, the way they stand currently. All right, so let's get some tarot on the board to further clarify these messages that are coming through from the oracles. And let's get it on the board, Spirit. Some tarot card messages for my lovely Aries. While I give my last shuffles here, go ahead and take this time to go ahead and click that subscribe button for me and support my channel, support me energetically as I seek to deliver all of these valuable messages. All right. All right, Aries. So we're going to clarify birch with the 9 of coins. We'll clarify darkness with the 4 of wands in the reverse. And we'll clarify the spirit of the South with the high priestess in the reverse. And this is pretty clear. Basically, this 9 of coins, which is clarifying birch, is talking about standing in your own strengths, right? So we were talking here with birch about the boundaries, about the protection, and no one is going to come into your life, Aries, and give you value. You come into a situation already knowing your value. And so if you are pricing yourself too low, you're going to end up in this chaotic type of mess. So this is talking about self-worth, self-esteem. It's talking about coming in and holding yourself in king or queen status, already coming in the door. You're already that. You don't need anyone to claim it as so for you. You come in with your head held high, knowing this, and knowing that your boundaries allow you to keep that status and not get down off your throne for any old peasant, okay? Because the queen or the king, they, they are royalty, obviously, and there's a reason they don't mingle with peasants, right? There's a reason they don't come off their throne, and they keep their boundaries up, and they make others who approach them respect their boundaries. And that is what is being called for in this situation. Stop trying to appease, stop trying to overplease, and stand your ground. Stand your ground. Be the king or queen that you are, and stop rolling out the red carpet for those who have not yet proved that they deserve it. Or stop rolling out the red carpet for those who are showing you through their actions of keeping you in chaos and confusion. They're showing you they don't deserve a red carpet. They actually reserve to be out back by the damn dumpster. Okay? I am, as you can tell, going to give it to you straightforwardly. So if this upsets you, I don't know what to tell you. I am not going to sugarcoat these messages. I certainly am not going to go out of my way to hurt anyone's feelings, but I do have to give it to you straight as Spirit gives it to me, because that's my agreement with Spirit. So let's move forward to this darkness card being clarified by the Four of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, so this situation that you're in, this relationship that you're in with your person is very unstable. At its core, there's no foundation. And so just like a house with a cracked foundation, it may stand up for a period of time, but then it's going to start to crumble. The foundation crumbles, and then you start to see that type of chaos leak into the rest of the relationship. And you're running in circles. Your mind is running in circles. You're probably not getting proper rest and sleep because your mind is uneasy and everything is crumbling on the crumbling foundation of your relationship. So just like that house, as its foundation starts to crumble and the house starts to shift uncontrollably, then the furniture inside shifts. All the precious belongings that that house has been filled with start to shift. Some of them get ruined. Some of them are smashed and crumbled as a result. The same thing can happen in your life as in the house analogy. And that's all based on the fact that you are putting your all, for many of you, into a connection which at its core was never strong, was never built on a firm foundation, never even built on a foundation that you have made yourself aware of. In other words, you did not take your time up front to get to know this person, and therefore this person now is able to shape shift in front of you and really cause you heartache and pain, because now you don't even recognize this situation that you've gotten yourself into. It's completely different from what you originally thought you were stepping into, because you allowed too many things to remain in the dark up front, and now the light of day is starting to seep in and everything looks completely different as it did in the dark. All right, so there's no firm foundation here, and yeah, this is crumbling quickly. The spirit of the South being very clarified by the High Priestess in the reverse tells me quite clearly that the fire of our intuition was trying to tell you something, and you've been ignoring, tell you a lot of messages actually that you've been ignoring with this High Priestess in the reverse. You know, and when Spirit is trying to speak to you, as the adage goes, it starts in whispers until it gets louder and louder and louder, and then you cannot ignore it, right? And that's what's happening to you here. This ignoring these messages from Spirit is now costing you, by way of the fact that you are in this situation again, in which Spirit has been telling you all along. If you take a moment, sit back and think about how things have been going down, Aries, if you really are honest with yourself and examine it, you will see where Spirit was prompting you all along, either to approach things differently to get a better result, or just prompting you that this was not the situation for you, okay? And you, Aries, are headstrong and remaining stuck in this for many of you, even though spirit has been loudly now telling you you refuse to let go. You're hanging on for dear life to a situation, my dear, that with this Hierophant in the reverse at the bottom of the deck is not going to turn into the commitment that you desire. It's not. The Hierophant in the reverse is not a committed relationship. In fact, at some point, what's going to happen with this is there's going to be a huge breakup, a permanent breakup. And then you'll, end up in some ways looking at your part in it and hopefully healing before you decide to move on. Okay? So let's get my other clarifying deck here going so that we can just finish out these messages here. All right, with this Nine of Coins being clarified again by the Nine of Cups here, it's like you saw everything that you thought you wanted in this person. Like, they really came in very charming, very loving, very much showing you exactly what it was that you wanted to see. And they had ascertained, after observing you for some time, they had ascertained what it was that you wanted to hear, that you needed to see to drop your guard. And they gave you exactly that and nothing more. And then with this snake here in the card here, you can see it's like then they drew back on it. And then you started to see what you were really dealing with and what danger that may be to some of you, especially in the area of regarding your self-worth, your self-esteem, and those types of things. So you started to see it, but then again, many of you probably ignored even that, is what I'm getting. This Four of Wands being clarified further by the Six of Cups. This may be someone that you dealt with like an ex, right? For many of you. And for others of you, this is a new person that puts you in a state of relaxing with them and being comfortable. It felt like, oh my God, I've known them forever. Like, it was one of those feelings of it's like I feel so relaxed and like I can be myself with this person. Like, I can sing my special song because this person feels very, very familiar. They really knocked down all your guards. And for those of you dealing with a past person, who came in claiming to be on some new energy, it was kind of like they weren't on new energy and they presented no proof of being on new energy. They gave you nothing stable to show that there was any change in them whatsoever. And others of you may not have even asked or demanded anything new from them. You were maybe, I hate to say this, maybe you were happy just to have them back, Aries, and you rushed full on and grabbed onto them to pull them back into your life because you had been waiting for so long. But this was truly a lesson of, there's a lot, that's said negative about accepting back your ex or a person that you've once dealt with. And, it definitely has its ups and downs, or its good points and its bad points, right? As an idea of something to do. But the same problems that plagued you before the breakup art were still there, and there was no proof of them being gone. There was no proof of this person healing or correcting what, you know, they put forward in the past. Like there was no way of saying, I don't know, I went through therapy and I addressed certain issues because those were things that were affecting us before. And now, with this new healing, I believe we can try again. There was nothing like that. There wasn't even like, I read a book, I read a self help book. There was no one addressed, neither of you addressed what had happened in the past and why, or what was being brought to the table to assure that it's unlikely that that will occur again. And so then you got back into a situation where you're dealing with the same issues, but sometimes when the same issues come around, they come back around in a more threatening manner. The negativity is stronger. Okay. This high priestess being clarified by the Ace of Cups in the reverse just let me know that, ignoring this intuitive insight that the universe is bringing you in order to rush back into this, what you thought would be, a true love situation, which would have been signified here by the Ace of Cups upright. But with the Ace of Cups being in the reverse, really what you are left with seeing is how would someone who really loved you treat you in the way that you're being treated now? They wouldn't. The cup and the Ace of Cups is being poured out. It's empty. It's dry. It's in the reverse. And so intuitively, you have to look at that and say, there's no love here. This person is not showering me with love. They're showering me with chaos and confusion, which is actually in opposition to love. Okay? Regardless of what you may believe, Aries, love isn't marked by chaos and confusion. It is not. Love is marked by peace and happiness. This person does not leave you peaceful and happy at the end of the day. And so Spirit, again, is urging you to look forward and to see what is. This is interesting because I'm doing this reading in a much different style than I normally do for love readings. And wow, it really went straight to the heart of what Spirit has been trying to get your attention to say to you, to have you recognize. And I hope that you hear and see it and know that it comes from a place of actual love as you move forward here, as you make decisions here. But I know what you came. You came for a more predictive experience. So let's take a look and get a few cards out in that regard. Spirit, you've had your say here in Aries' ear. You've been able to drop the full value of your message for them, of what they've been ignoring. But Spirit, now we do want to see what Aries can expect coming forward here in the very near future regarding this romantic situation. All right. So those messages come by the Eight of Cups in the reverse. Again, the King of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Hanged Man. So what this is telling me is that, again, this continuing cycle of not walking away from this, not being willing to let go of this, will most likely be what is to come in the weeks ahead here. And this King of Pentacles in the reverse is whether your person is male or female, Aries, this is an energy of, for some of you, materialism, and this person being very materialistic, focusing on what it is that you have to offer them by way of money, by way of gifts, by way of experiences. What are they getting from you? What can they get from you is their primary focus. They're not focused, again, like I said, on the love or the emotional aspect of this connection. And the tactics of causing and keeping confusion in your connection works in that now they put you into a cycle of proving that you deserve them. Really, that's what their game is. Their game is to have you prove that you deserve them. Ain't that some shit, Aries? So that materialism, what can they get from you? How long can they keep you going? Can they keep you serving them? That's what we're talking about with this King of Pentacles in the reverse. And this Hanged Man means, yeah, they're going to keep you blind in the chaos. By using the chaos, they're going to keep you blind, ignoring the intuition and the intuitive insights, because you're going to be so wrapped up in your own head, ignoring that insight, that you will be in a stuck position. And for many of you, with this Hanged Man, you end up in a no contact situation where they either ghost you for some time, like maybe they ghost you, maybe they start by a day or two, and then they start ghosting you for weeks, and then they ghost you for a month or two, and you sit there waiting for their return and not understanding what it is that you need to do in order to have the consistency with them, right? And you just stay stuck in the mental, going over and over and over this. And again, on this cycle, in this chaos, on this hamster wheel, unfortunately, that's what I see going on. And it will stay that way until you turn this Eight of Pentacles, or these Eight of Cups upside down and make the decision to stand back, step back and step away for your own sake, for your own mental clarity. All right, Aries. I know these aren't good news messages, but they are the messages that Spirit has sent through for you at this time, and I do hope that they have been helpful. Please go ahead and click subscribe and that notification bell so that you will be aware of the very next messages coming your way. I wish you well. I wish you the best, Aries. Until next time.